Hello and welcome to Movies That Move Me. I'm Elijah Winfrey, your host. I am a writer and director, and I am doing this series for a couple of reasons, which I've already discussed in previous videos. But if you're just joining me, I want people to be able to know where some of my inspirations come from, as far as films that made me want to be a filmmaker. And I also want to discuss movies with people because I love doing that. So that's why I'm doing this. And today's movie that we're going to talk about is an oldie but a goodie. Okay, and when I say oldie, I'm not talking the 90s. I'm not talking the 80s. I'm talking a movie from the 40s. Yeah, okay. Now, before I show you the poster for this film, here is what inspired me to even try to watch movies from that time period. Okay, now I feel like a lot of people feel the same way that I do when they see a black and white movie. If they're younger, they say, "Oh, that's old. There's nothing to gain from watching that," right? That's how I used to feel, okay? But I gave black and white movies a shot, and I'm thankful I did, okay? And this is one of the first ones that I watched because for me, as somebody who is trying to make movies, I figure if I'm only ever watching films that I grew up with, how good am I ever going to really be? Okay, because I like to try to get as many influences, as many inspirations as I possibly can so that I can learn, so that I can get better. Because I know that I'm never going to learn everything, but I'm damn sure going to try. Okay, so again, I kind of went into the rabbit hole, but this is one of the first movies that started my adventure with black and white film. It is from 1941. It is considered by many to be the greatest film of all time. I'm not going that far in this video, but it's a good one. Here it is, Citizen Kane. That's what we're talking about today. Many different posters. I just thought this one looked really cool to me, but you'll see different other posters for this film out there, and I say that because if you're looking for this later on, I don't want you to be like, I can't find that exact film. Again, there's like 5 different posters out there. But anyway, Citizen Kane, 1941. It is a drama mystery film. I'm going to pull up my other screen here so I can read for those folks who have never seen this film before what it's about. Then we'll talk about it. A group of reporters are trying to decipher the last word ever spoken by Charles Foster Kane. The millionaire newspaper tycoon said the word rosebud. The film begins with a newsreel detailing Kane's life for the masses, and then from there, viewers are shown flashbacks from Kane's life. As reporters investigate further, the viewers see a display of a fascinating man's rise to fame and how he eventually fell off the top of the world. Obviously, this film centers around Charles Foster Kane, who is played by Orson Welles, who was directing his very first feature film when they did this back in 1941. So here's what I like about it, okay? There's actually a few things, so this might be a little bit of a longer video. I love how this movie transitions from scene to scene. Now, we've all seen it where a movie will have a title card that says 3 weeks later or 3 weeks ago or 1 year later, 1 year ago. You get my point, okay? Or it'll be showing like an image on the screen, but in the bottom it'll say, okay, now we are in a different planet, and it'll have the planet text there, or it'll have the year and the date there, right? We've seen that. That's a way to let the audience know where we are, right? This movie doesn't do that. This movie transitions from season to season in these flashbacks by just having the characters turn around. Here's what I mean, okay? And I don't know if this is actually an example from this film, but this will convey the idea I'm trying to convey here. Picture yourself having Thanksgiving dinner, okay? One of your characters in your film is having Thanksgiving dinner. You get up to go put your plate away, okay? So you're putting your plate away, and then in the very next frame, when you turn around and face the camera, now you're decorated in a Christmas outfit. So now the audience knows that we changed from Thanksgiving to Christmas, but there was no text saying that. You just did it in the actual footage itself. Citizen Kane does that in this film, and it blew my mind because in black and white, I was like, how are they going to do this? And it was really freaking cool. Okay, so that was one of the first things that hooked me as a filmmaker, was like, how do I do that? Maybe that's a better way of doing it, instead of putting up a title card that says 3 days ago, 3 weeks ago, a year ago, that sort of thing. Maybe this is something I can just do naturally, instead of telling the audience exactly where we are. They can figure it out themselves by just continuing with the story. So that was hugely inspirational to me. The other thing that I liked about this is that it kind of felt like I was watching a story about Bruce Wayne. Follow me here, okay? We've all seen, I don't want to say all, most of us have seen a Batman movie, right? And we always see a little bit of Bruce Wayne and a whole lot of Batman. But we don't ever really get to see a full movie about the business side of Batman. And that's kind of what this film felt like. It felt like it was a movie about Bruce Wayne. Now, obviously, this came before any of the Batman films. I get that. But if you go into it, that might help you be a little bit more interested in it if you've never seen this film before, okay? Go into it like you're watching a movie about Bruce Wayne, and you'll kind of get what I'm saying. One of the other points I wanted to make about this is that this movie hit me in my core, okay? Hit me in my soul when I watched this film. Because one of the issues that Charles Foster Kane is going through is that when he sees somebody like something or has a mild interest in something, he wants them to become a professional at whatever it is. He wants the people in his life to have everything they've ever wanted. And he goes above and beyond to make sure those people get those things. But then when those people are not satisfied with what's going on, he feels horrible about it. And it kind of messes with his own self-esteem. An example, in this movie, one of the people that Charles Foster Kane is taking care of shows a mild interest in acting and singing and performing. So instead of getting the person lessons or taking them out to witness art being done to, just have a fun time, he buys them the theater and makes them the performer day in and day out. It's a little extreme, right? But that's what Charles Foster Kane does, because he wants them to have everything they've ever wanted. And for me, that hit me in my soul, because that's one of my character flaws. Like, I'll just be honest with you, that's one of my character flaws. If I see somebody has an interest in something, I want them to be the very best at it. I want to do whatever I can to prop them up to get them where they want to go, okay? Or where I think they want to go. And a lot of times it's where I think they want to go and not really where they want to go, if you get what I'm saying. So that's one of those things that, like, was uniquely kind of hit me, all right? Between the transitions, between feeling like it was a movie about Bruce Wayne, and then that final piece to the puzzle there hit me in my soul with a movie that came out years before I was even thought of. That all made me go, I really like this movie. This is something that I'm enjoying. And the inspirational part was all those things, like being able to look at it and go, maybe I should put some scenes in black and white. Why not? In fact, I actually did that. In my first film, Ballad of Billy Badass, I actually did some black and white scenes, and if I remember correctly, it's because I had seen this film and seen how great it was. Some of the scenes in black and white, or actually the whole movie in black and white. So there you go, inspiration. Another thing that I wanted to mention briefly, and I know I'm way past the time we usually do these, Orson Welles, this was his first film that he ever directed, and he was actually doing an interview about this movie, and he had said in the interview that part of the reason why they were able to do as amazing things as they did was out of ignorance. They didn't know that they couldn't. They weren't told that they couldn't. So when they're sitting there doing all this crazy stuff with the cameras that none of the other filmmakers in Hollywood were doing at the time, it wasn't because they were out to prove a point. It was because nobody told them that's not how you make a movie. And so I thought that was kind of cool how, they kind of did independent filmmaking in a way. Yes, they had the Hollywood budget, but they had that spirit of an independent filmmaker of just going out there and making something to make something and have fun. Citizen Kane, 1941. It's a great film. Check it out. It's a good use of your time. And check out other black and white movies too, because you're missing out if you don't. Once you check it out, let me know what you think about it. If you've already seen it, let me know what you think. And this is a movie that moved me. Citizen Kane from 1941. Thank you so much for tuning in.